Hey guys, yeah, this is a bit of a different video pretty much. As you can see, there's a bit of a difference. Voila, I'm here. But basically, we're going to be doing the Guilty Gear Strive predictions. Basically, this is a video, I'm just going to be talking about the characters in Guilty Gear Strive who I feel like are the most likely. So, the way this works, the Season Pass had 2 new characters this time, right? It's had Jacko and Baiken. We might be getting a returning character for the third one, but let's be real. That third one's Asuka. The third one's gonna be that man. Gonna be Asuka. If not Asuka, Asuka's gonna be the first character in season 2. Like Asuka's gonna be playable. But let's be real. So there's 2, maybe 3 returning characters. Who knows? But for the sake of this, we're gonna be saying there's 3 characters per season. Like 3 returning characters, 2 new ones. We're not gonna talk about the new ones here because I can literally make anyone up. I can say it's Skingama Bingo, the lovable character where everyone loves. It's a crossover with Skunklu from the N64. Remember that, guys? But you know, like the thing is, like basically, yeah, there's gonna be 3 characters each season, and we're just gonna talk about a bunch of characters. We're gonna be going from like likely, like this is like lock-in characters pretty much. Likely characters and unlikely characters. So we're gonna start with the two lock-ins because there's gonna be 2 of them, and I'm pretty sure you guys can already kind of gather what these are, but you know, let's just do it. The first lock-in, that's Slayer. Let's be real. Slayer's gonna fucking be in. He's one of the most iconic characters to Guilty Gear. He's one of the most well-known. He has a lot of like. He's very like well known pretty much. Like that's like the main thing. He's a character who's been in the series ever since Guilty Gear X, and he's been in every game since. So him being not in Strive is a bit weird. I personally feel like they might try and keep some of the initial gameplay. Like it'll be slower because that's just how Strive is. Strive is a lot slower than X and Core and Xrd. But I feel like they will generally try and keep his gameplay a lot. One thing I hope is that they get rid of his stupid fucking teleport dash. Like I'm sorry. I don't care how cool Slayer is. I hate that stupid dash he has because it means my positioning's just fucked. Yeah, Slayer is just a character who's so iconic and just so well known, and wasn't he in like he was in the leaks as well? Like there was leaks about like who the characters would be, and like Slayer was one of them. So yeah, Slayer's pretty much a lock-in, and the other lock-in is Jam. Kuradobri. I want to say that. Yeah, basically Jam, she was like found to be in the files of the game when it first came out in the playable characters thing. This was like back during like the first beta, I think. So it was like Sol, Kai, Mei, Axel, and Jam. And Jam wasn't playable in Strive at launch. And from the looks of it, she's not going to be any of the DLC. Because like you could say maybe she'll be the last character in the past, but the last pass has another story. Not to be rude to like anyone who likes Jam. What is her plot relevance? Like, maybe another story will be the Jam spin-off, where it's all about Jam and our wacky adventures, but honestly, I doubt they'd do that. I really doubt they would. Yeah, I feel like this might just be, like, them. This, like, just, like, Jam, I think, just might be there as, like, the character, like, a returning character, because cool, you know? Because a lot of people like Jam, you know? Even if her voice makes me want to grab a .45 caliber round and fire it directly through my skull, she's still, like, a fun and really well-known character. Like, she's not as iconic as Slayer, I'd argue, but she's up there in, like, the recognizability. It also doesn't help that she's also one of the characters with a more simple, like, character thing, and, like, let's be real, a lot of the characters of the season pass so far haven't been that simple. Like, Jacko is, like, Venom on steroids, but, like, not like actual steroids. No, it's, like, after the steroids, where even though you're all, like, different looking and all that, it's still just, you're just, like, worse than before. I don't like Jacko that much. And then you have, like, Happy Chaos with his whole gun and concentration and bullet mechanic. Why does he have, like, 3 different mechanics to keep track of? I don't know. But yeah, like, there is, like, a lot of stuff, like, so I feel like maybe they might try and have Jam, because, like, Jam does have some complex stuff to her with the cards, but it's not that complex. I feel like she could be a good starting character for, you know, someone wanting to get into Guilty Gear. It's like, I want to get into Guilty Gear. Oh, Jam, she looks pretty good, which, you can say that for a lot of the characters in Strive. That's something I actually quite like about Strive. It sounds a lot more, like, easy to understand than the old ones. Like, trying to understand how to play, like, ABBA or fucking, like, Justice or whatever, that's hard. But, yeah, I think, yeah, Jam and Slayer, those are the 2 lock-ins. They are, like, 100% going to be in the game at some point. Now we're going into the likely ones. These are the characters who will most likely be in there, but I'm not going to, like, they're not 100%. Like, some of these guys are going to be in here, but not all of them, if that makes sense. So we're going to start with who I think is one of the more odder choices, but hear me out on this one. Testament. Testament is a character who was not in Exard. And that's the main, basis for this theory, as dumb as that fucking sounds. So, during the Strive end credits, you can see there's Testament. That is Testament hanging out in the background there. He wasn't in Exard, so they had to make a model, even if it was just a shitty low poly one, for Strive. That's really weird. It also know that he's in a shot with the Valentines. That's even weirder, because the Valentines were only introduced in Exard. So, Testament and, the Valentines, Rammerfall, Jacko, and Elfelt, they have no reason to even know each other, and they're in the same shot. Clearly something's happened. Is it because, after, Cliff dies, did, Testament just, go out into the world and see Elfelt or whatever? It was just oh, damn, I want to get a bit of that, you know? What? How come Testament's there? And I feel like in general, Testament, he's not an overly popular character, but he's genuinely agreed to be a pretty, I don't want to say well-known, but if you ask a classic Guilty Gear fan, hey, what character would you like from Accent Core to come back? They would most likely say, Testament as one of them. Because I also feel like Testament would, benefit from a lot of Strive's gameplay decisions, because, Accent Core and Exard, as I said previously, are very fast-paced, and that meant that, Testament in Accent Core was broken, pretty much. He's a top 3, top 2 character, depending on where you think of Baiken and Zapper. But yeah, Testament essentially could just shut down half of the game. And because of how fast Accent Core was, it was very easy for you to accidentally fall into his, nets, or traps, or whatever you want to call them. Essentially making it so Testament was a very annoying character to fight against, you had to change your entire style of fighting him. Which is the main reason why the other top 3 are there, Baiken. Sorry about that, I've had a bunch of, drink earlier, but yeah, Baiken and Zapper, they're 2 characters who also kind of have that same problem, where they pretty much lock the game into, their game. And that's the main reason why Testament is also, you think the top 3 would be played more, but they're not, because everyone agrees they're annoying as fuck to fight against. But, Testament, I feel is a character who you might actually just, see come back. Maybe you'll only be able to have 1 now, because that was another thing, you was able to have 2 out, I believe, and that was really annoying. But yeah, so Testament being brought back, toned down a little bit, and just with a slightly slower gameplay of Strive, I feel like he'd do fucking great. I feel like people would love Testament being back in the game. Maybe that's just me. So next up, we have, a bit of an odd choice, maybe, and that's Elfelt Valentine. The reason why this is an odd choice is because Happy Chaos is the gun character now. That's his entire gimmick. He has, a gun, and he shoots with it. Now, my main thing for this is basically, first of all, we already have Rammerfall, and we have Jacko. Not having Elfelt would feel a little weird, and, Elfelt's already really popular. She's, one of the most played characters. Look at any XR tournament, you'll see at least 2 Elfelts. Elfelt's really popular. But I also feel a big part of that is also, because Elfelt, right, this is something I came up with when I was thinking about this video fucking last night, okay? What if, because Testament's there in that shot with the Valentines, right? What if Elfelt, hear me out, gets with Testament? Because her entire thing is that she wanted to try and find a husband, right? So what if she gets with Testament? Because I feel that could be a fun little bit of juxtaposition, that's the word. Because Elfelt, you look at her, you're this pastel-coloured pink, all of this, nice, happy stuff. You look at Testament, who is dressed like a fucking Hot Topic goth. And I feel I make a little fun bit of juxtaposition between the two, you know? But yeah, you have Elfelt, you have Testament. Those are 2 characters who are already, pretty, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, I feel giving them 2 things, you have a nice little bit of, juxtaposition, it would give the 2 characters something to do as well, because I'm not too well versed on Guilty Gear lore, but Elfelt doesn't really have anything to do unlike Rammerfall and Jacko. Because Rammerfall gets with Sin, or Scene, whatever you want to pronounce it, and Elfelt, Jacko gets with Soul, and she has the whole thing with Justice, whatever. They two, they have 2, big things, but Elfelt hasn't really had a lot. But, yeah, the main thing is that she might be just completely outclassed by Happy Chaos being the gun character, but I have a counterpoint. Happy Chaos has just the 1 gun. Elfelt has a fucking armory on her at all times. Like, she has like a shotgun, a pistol, I think she has like a sniper rifle, she has like cherry bombs. She has so much shit she can use. I feel like that can make enough of a difference as is. Like, Happy has to be the character you intentionally just go for like the one like few shots with. Meanwhile, like with Alpha, you just use like, hey, here's the fucking shotgun, here's my fucking sniper, here's like 50 caliber round straight into your fucking skull, and that's just what like they do with her. I feel that could be pretty fun. What I was about to just mess up my hair. I feel that could be a pretty cool thing with Alpha. And also, again, just like nerf her a little bit, because again, she is like a top 3 character in Xrd, so a lot of people are a bit around her. But still, like Alpha, I feel like would be a fun character, but she is a little bit not outclassed, but like she's a little redundant, And speaking of characters who are a little bit redundant, we have Venom. I actually didn't intentionally wear the shirt. I was just picking out my fucking wardrobe there. And I was like, I'm going to wear my Venom shirt. I didn't even realize this. But yeah, Venom. Not this Venom, though. This Venom. I really fucking love this dude. Playing this dude, like, because I got into Strife first. Many people, I went into Strife first. Then I got into Accent Core, then Xrd. Please bring fucking Roll back to Xrd, please. But yeah, I started with Strive, then I went to Accent Core. And Accent Core, I was like, oh wow, that's quite there's a lot of cool characters here. And Venom was one of the ones that initially I didn't get that well with them. But that's just because like trying to do well with a character first time in Accent Core is like, hey, I'm gonna try and like launch a nuclear rocket into like the sun now. Like it's impossible. It's never been done before, and you're trying to like it's just not happening. But yeah, like Accent Core is like quite hard. But like Venom in that game is really fun because his entire gimmick is that he makes like pool balls appear. And he just whacks them with his, like, big stick. Which, yeah, that's literally just a big pool cue, by the way. It's not a weapon, it's not a cane, it's a fucking pool cue. I love that. This dude, literally, his entire gimmick is just, I play pool. There is no character better than just, I like pool. I like snooker. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But, yeah. That is, like, Venom's whole gimmick. And the main reason why I feel like he's a little bit redundant is, like, Jacko has a similar gimmick to that. But I'd argue, like, Jacko and Venom play, like, differently enough. Also doesn't help the Jacko just isn't very good in Strive, so maybe they just were like, like, take 2, guys, we gotta have Venom. Ignore Jacko, but Venom! I'm sounding like Eminem at this point. I ramble a lot in these, okay? Get used to that if this is like your first time coming here. I ramble and I make no sense. But yeah, Venom, I feel like is a pretty likely character. His only thing is that he's a little redundant thanks to Jacko, but I'd argue they're different enough that we can, like, hope. Also, again, we have Milia, we have Zato, we're most likely going to have Slayer. If you're going to have 3 members of the Assassin Guild, you may as well have the 4th, you may as well have the dude Venom. But yeah, just in general, like, Venom, I would really like him. Another character, I don't really have a transition for this one, Sin. I'm just going to call him Sin, because, it's written Sin. But yeah, Sin Kisk. He's pretty cool. He's a character who was introduced in Guilty Gear 2. Do you know that game exists? Yeah. Yeah, he was introduced in Guilty Gear 2, but he's mainly known for being an Xrd. He's often called like the Golden Retriever character because he kind of gives off that energy, and I kind of had to agree. But I feel like he would be a really like fun character because he already is incredibly fun in Xrd. He's like one of my like I don't play Xrd a lot because who the fuck would I play it with? Whenever I do play Xrd, I always play Ram the Fool, Sin, or Eno. And yeah, Sin is really fun, and hell, he even has a meter. His whole gimmick is like the meat, where he just eats the meat, and he gets like... It's like, hang on, I'm trying to remember. It's something like he needs like the meat to use his specials. It's been a while since I played Xrd. But it's like he needs like the meat to use like his special moves. So I feel like that would kind of be like... It's kind of like Susano from BlazBlue, if you ever played that, where his entire gimmick is that he needs to, like, specifically, like, land on the special moves to get them. And it's kind of like that, where, like, his special moves are really fucking good. You just need to go through a prerequisite to get it. And I feel like that would already, like, kind of work with Strive, because Strive has a bit more of a neutral focus, I guess. So, like, and besides, like, half the characters in meters already, like, Jacko, and, like, Jacko, and Happy Chaos already have like the kind of like the resource gimmicks, and I feel like kind of like giving Sin one of that, it would fit in, you know, it would fit in with the rest of the cast. But yeah, Sin, I feel like he's popular enough, he's recognizable enough, and also I just feel like he'd be a fun enough character where he's probably one of the more likely ones here. Now, next up, this is a character who this is going more into the unlikely category, and that's Zapper. What the fuck am I looking at? That's the best way to describe Zapper. This dude's fucking weird. And I love that. This dude's so fucking bizarre. I can't even complain. I fucking love this dude. Basically, Zapper is possessed by a few different ghosts. I'm trying to remember. There's the main one, I think it's called Kikune, but don't get me on that. It looks like Samsara from The Ring. The dog, the triplets. There's also the big, really powerful, fucking star platinum looking one. I can't remember the name. I think it's called Sao. And let's see, there's also another one. Oh yeah, like the sword. Like he has like 5 different summons, pretty much. Well, not 5. You can't use the first one, the ring one, in normal gameplay. And he has to use like these 3 ones to get Sao. But honestly, I feel like Zapper is first of all, he has a mechanic. He has a meter mechanic. Strive loves meter mechanics. But in general, I feel like he is a character where I feel like he's recognizable enough for the makes sense. Like, he's not exactly popular, but if you see a character like Zapper, you don't forget a character who looks like this, you know? You see this dude, and you know, oh, that's motherfucking Zapper. And I think that's a big part of, like, the thing. He's also, like, the least hated of the top 3 in Accent Core. Because Baiken's already in the fucking game. Yeah, Testament is known for being kind of bullshit. And Zapper, honestly, I feel like all they need to do with Zapper is just, like, tone down their sword. Because the sword is, like... Because the dog and the triplets are kind of annoying, but they're bearable. Like, he has some ridiculous... Like, Zapper is a situation of a character where it's death by 1,000 cuts. He has so many things that are, like, somewhat annoying about him, but they all pile onto each other to create this character who's a nightmare to fight. But, yeah, I feel like just toning some of his stuff down a little bit, like... Because the sword is notorious for just having free zoning. Essentially, the way it works, Zapper will be there. He will summon the sword, and the sword will go around the opponent, and he can just keep hitting them. And the opponent can't really do anything because you can't hit the sword. So their only real hope is to, you know, get into Zapper, but they're already getting hit by the sword, so they can't really leave their defensive position. That's why a lot of people like really hate Zapper, because his sword is just free zoning. Fuck you. Now, personally, I feel like what they need to do is like tone down the sword a little bit. Me. I've heard some people throw around the idea of maybe giving him like a free, like he has a time limit on his summons. I think that's fucking dumb. I know that sounds like a bit like rude, but like the idea of not giving, like, because that's what makes Zapper so like fun. Like a character like Abba makes sense to have like a time limit, because Abba can't just like, it wouldn't be fair for her to just have ungodly amounts of shit, you know, because her whole gimmick is just to sacrifice stuff, whatever. She turns from the worst character to like the best character. But I feel like with Zapper, it's a case where, like, the summons just enhance him. They don't make him that much better, if that makes sense. So I feel like the idea of just giving him, like, the summons, I mean, because he already loses it on, like, one hit. One hit and boom, they're gone. Like, even if it's just, like, a simple, like, jab, they're gone. And he has to resummon them, unless he, like, That's another thing. If you're going to reintroduce Zapper, either greatly reduce or just completely get rid of the mechanic where if he's in hit stun, he can, and if he recovers from hit stun, there's like a 5 in 8 chance. I remember seeing that on Dust Loop, I think. Don't quote me on that. It's a 5 in 8 chance that he will just immediately get another summon. And I think that's really bullshit. It means like a lot of the risk reward of Zapper is not there. So yeah, just get rid of that mechanic. Just make it so he has to manually summon them. And like tone down like the sword and like maybe the triplets a little bit. And yeah, you'd have Zapper way more fun. Also make it so like all of his moves are like ridiculously low profile. Because that's another reason a lot of people don't like Zapper, is because you can't hit him 90% of the time. Because his moves are so low to the ground, you have to use like 2D. Like some characters straight up can't hit him with anything that's in a 2D. Yeah, Zapper is a character who I feel like is fun enough and like well known enough. Well, not really well known, but he's like really recognizable, and he's kind of like he's so unique. I feel like he's a character who can only work in Guilty Gear. So yeah, Zapper, like 100%. I feel like I want him in at least, and I feel like a lot of people wouldn't complain. Like, oh, Zapper, that's cool. So yeah, Zapper is a character who I feel like would be pretty fun in there. Now, also, we're gonna Okay, I'm not sure how to really get into this because I'm basically here are like the characters who I think will really likely not get in. First of all, we're gonna start with Cliff. Cliff is dead. And then we're gonna go on to Justice. Justice is dead. That's like the two main issues with them. Yeah, Cliff is. I think I can't remember if he died of old age or because of a fight with Justice. I'm not sure. I've heard it go both ways. So, but from Cliff, regardless of what you think, Cliff is dead, and Justice, the entire fucking plot of XR was to stop Justice from existing. So I feel like maybe we might get Justice back as like a legacy character where she's not actually canon. It's kind of like Happy Chaos in the arcade mode, where Happy Chaos' arcade mode is pretty much just like, oh, I guess I'm alive, huh? That's weird. But yeah, like maybe they'll do that with Justice. But personally, I feel like it's a bit too much of an arse pull to really like justify it. Also, another character who really likely won't get in, and this pains me to say. Abba. Abba is one of my favourite characters in the Guilty Gear series, you know? I think she's really fun, really unique as well, but like, I don't think she'll ever really be in. She is entirely self-fucking-contained. She makes Jam look like the protagonist with how much she does. Because at least Jam has something with a Robo Kai. Yeah. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot to say about Abba. She's so entirely self-contained. I really don't feel like they do anything with her in terms of a plot way. So, you know, that's one of the main reasons why I feel like she won't get in. But I can hope and dream that like Abba will get in. They didn't make it so Abba like doesn't have like her key be her like a human anymore. That's what they could do. I wouldn't be the biggest fan of it, but you know it'd be mean if we get Abba back through it, I'm okay with it. Also, a couple other characters I thought of, right? Because I basically have a big, like, just a bunch of fucking character names on my screen right now, pretty much. But, yeah, next up is Robo Kai. Robo Kai, I feel like, is pretty likely. Robo Kai is pretty much acknowledged to be, like, the meme character. But he's not, like, a meme in the way a lot of other characters are. He's a meme character in the way that, like, he's just kind of, like, a joke. But, like, he's still, like, he's not, like, a complete joke and gets powers. He's a joke and, like, he doesn't take anything fucking seriously, and I kind of love that about him. But, yeah, like, Robo Kai, I feel like he is, he's pretty recognizable. They could easily distinguish him by having, like, you know, Kai in his new design. And they have, like, Robo Kai in his old design. You know, with, like, the big robe, or whatever you want to call it. And I feel like that would already be really distinguishable. And, like, Robo Kai already has a completely different, like, gauge. And he has a completely different gameplay style. Like, he is a character who, I would at least argue, is, like, very, like, different and recognizable enough. And his gameplay is really... His gameplay is a weird mix of, like, the semi-Shoto Kai is combined with, like, zoning. And also, like, resource management. He's a weird dude, and I feel like that's why he actually might make it in. Because it's, like, that's fucking Robo Kai. It's one of the most identifiable gameplay in the series. All I hope is that they make the little healing mat thing, like good. Also, this is completely unrelated, but if you're bringing back Robo Kai, make sure the AI actually goes on the fucking, like, the cooling mat, whatever it's called. Because, like, 99% of the time, the AI will just summon that and just walk as if it wasn't even there. It's like... And again, it's entirely unrelated, but it's just something I noticed through playing, like, survival mode and just, like, messing around, trying to find a character I click with in Accent Core. Who, fun fact, that's Zapper, Eddie, and Abba. Those are the characters I play in Accent Core. I haven't fully dedicated myself to one of them yet, but most likely it will be Abba or Zato, Eddie, whatever you want to call them. And then we have the last character. This is every one of the more loose ones. And that's Bedman. I don't know a lot about the Guilty Gear lore. I'm not really sure what the whole deal with Bedman is. Apparently I've heard a few people say he's dead, but I'm not sure. Again, like, don't quote me on any of this. But the main reason I feel like Bedman will be back is because... It's because Bacon fucking mentions Delilah for some reason. Delilah is Bedman's sister. I know that from comments on the Bacon trailer. But yeah, like, that's a really weird thing to mention, isn't it? For Bacon to just go like, oh yeah, like, is there like, don't worry, I'm there for you, Delilah. Why does she know who Delilah is? What is her relation with Delilah? And what is her relation with Bedman? And I feel like that's like the thing, like, my only guess is that Bedman might be a bit too similar to Happy Chaos, because they look somewhat similar, and they both have the similar, like, relative self-awareness, you know? But I feel like that's, like, enough of, like, a small issue, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like enough people would be like, yo, that's Bedman, that's cool. And, you know, like, he's in a bed. That's already enough of a difference from Happy Chaos. So, yeah, those are the characters. Now, there's going to be 3 for each thing. Now, this is my personal wish list, okay? This isn't the one that I think is most likely. This is the wish list. So, because I'm going to say 3 seasons. So, we have the current one right now, and there's going to be 2 more. Because that's what I believe. That's pretty much similar to what, like, Exiled had. And, you know, the Fighters in, like, season 4 now, isn't it? Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, let's just go 3 seasons. Maybe they'll make more. I'm not going to complain if they make more. God, no. But this is my personal wish list. So, season pass 2 begins with Slayer. I feel like he's a good, like, season seller. It's like, oh shit, that's motherfucking Slayer. Holy shit. So yeah, Slayer's going to be the first guy to open that up. Miscellaneous new character. I don't know, make it fucking... I don't know, make it that one dude from the story mode of Happy Chaos kills, like, the White House. And then the next one would be... I want to say ABBA. I know that's really not likely, but a man can dream, and a man can pray, and a man can stick to his own ideals. I'm sticking to my ideal that ABBA will one day be in Strive. That's what I'm believing in. I want ABBA in Strive. Damn it. So yeah, like, you got Slayer, you got ABBA. Like, this is a pretty odd one, I guess, and you can end it with Sin. Sin is another example of, like, I guess you're gonna pick up the season pass now, because, you know, that's, like, Sin, you know? So, Sin's a cool dude, so there would be a kind of a good way of kind of... Because, like, I feel like this would make sense, because Slayer, he's the initial big push. Like, that's Slayer, that's my man, I've got to get him. ABBA would be the case of, oh, that's a cool character. I didn't think they'd, like, bring them back. Oh, that's cool. By them. And Sin is the character where it's like, it's kind of similar to Slayer. It's like, oh, that's Sin. That's my dude. Hell yeah. So, season 3 begins with Jam. Again, Jam is another example of, oh, that's Jam. Yeah, of course, that's from the older games. Now, this is, like, a lot of the games, this has been season 3, like, the latest season when they get fucking weird DLC, and I'm planning on that. Robo Kai. Again, Robo Kai is a similar thing of, that's the what? Robo Kai? I'm sure. You know, like, Robo Kai is such an odd choice. I feel like that would work. And for the final character, I kind of want to say Batman. Because I feel like Batman's enough of, like a what choice? Like, for, you know, like, people to be like, oh, yo, that's, like, Batman, you know? No, personally, like, maybe if it was up to me, I'd replace, like, Batman with Testament, because I think Testament would be a cool throwback to the older days, and that's my personal preference of character anyway. But at the end of the day, either way, that'd be a cool way to end it, and they'll likely have more anyway. Season 4 will likely have, like, a bunch of, like, they'll have, like, Elfel, like, I think they didn't have Elfel. Yeah, that's the problem with having, like, only 3 characters per returning season. It means you really have to think hard. Like, I really fucking love Elfel, and I really want her back into, like, I couldn't think of any of those characters to replace, so yeah. But there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. This has been going on a very long time now, and I'll see you in a bit. Arrivederci.